Takt time explained. Boost your construction efficiency. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the concept of takt time. I get asked this all the time. What is takt time? Why is it important? Why is this like a thing? How does it apply to construction? How does it apply to manufacturing? How do they compare to each other? And this video is the answer. So if you want to know what takt time is in manufacturing, what it is in construction, and how it can benefit you on your project, then you have come to the right place. Stay with us. Okay, so I'm excited about this. I'm going to cover takt time in manufacturing, takt time in construction, and how you can use it to benefit you on your project. So takt time is really the rate at which something needs to be produced in order to meet customer demand. So if you really visualize it, and in one of the other videos in this next batch of 20 that we do, I'll explain this. You have an activity time, then you have the cycle time. But the cycle time for an individual product, how fast you produce those on a rhythm, that's your takt time. It's how often you produce something for the customer to meet customer demand. Now, I've been in a lot of different presentations in the lean community, gone to Congress, heard from LCI, listened to a lot of lean professionals, and they always miss this takt time principle. It's really interesting to me. They'll say that at Toyota, they don't work off of market projections. Well, actually they do. And they base their operations from a manufacturing standpoint based on those market projections, and they evaluate if their takt time for production can meet that demand. The other thing is, they will also use takt time in their car manufacturing plants, not in the high mix, low volume pods for smaller parts or one-off manufacturing, but for their assembly lines, it will be on a takt time. That means that as the cars move through the plant, it's on a takt time. So if you go to Toyota or BMW or any of these other companies, you'll see that in the plant, their overhead conveyors have the cars on the overhead conveyor, and then as it moves to the next station, it'll get a door. Then it moves to the next station and it gets the other door. It moves to the next station and it gets the steering wheel. Whatever the case may be, it runs through here, and that same takt time that I was talking about, right, on a rhythm, identifies the speed at which it goes through the different stations on the manufacturing line, the assembly line. And this is key because it synchronizes all of the production. Pull is not the main principle. Now, if you go to these manufacturing floors, you'll see that they'll have like a little area, like engines is my favorite example. They'll wrap it in like a plastic wrap. They'll have these motors ready to go to pull in and install into the vehicle, right? And then once the inventory levels get below their indicator line, and as a part of the Kanban system, it will trigger the production of more motors to feed the overall line. So this is on a takt rhythm first and then pull second. Takt is the system that they use in two senses. One, from a market demand projection, and then also from a production synchronization standpoint inside the actual manufacturing plant. So it's really odd to me that in construction we don't talk about the takt principle very often up until now. So that's really what it is in manufacturing. And there are formulas for this, and I don't really want to get into the details of it, but basically if you take the total demand, and if you understand the demand in the certain timeline, you can break that down to the rhythm that you have to meet that demand as you include buffers. And then obviously it governs your production rhythm as well. But takt time is key because if you didn't have it, you wouldn't have a consistent flow. You would have a chaotic flow. In construction, it works the same way. In fact, construction is so much like manufacturing, I would almost say they're the exact same. But in construction, if you have a building and you break it up into different zones, right? Let's say this is zone 1, 2, 3. Typically you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but just for the ease of the graphic, I'll do it like this. Instead of the car moving through stations, your trade partners move from zone to zone to zone to zone to zone. So they are what flows. So you already have a market demand projection. You already have a milestone for when the project needs to be completed. So you literally can take the amount of activities, the duration of each activity inside of a takt time, consider the number of zones throughout the project, and find out what your takt time has to be to meet the market demand. So in that case, it's the same thing. The other thing is, it also provides the rhythm. The trade partners are going from zone to zone to zone on a takt time. So that indicates the speed. So when you hear the word takt or takt time, you need to understand that we are talking about the speed at which a car is going through the manufacturing plant, or in construction, the speed at which the trade partners are going through the actual project itself. So I'm going to talk to you about a couple of the things that you can do with takt time that make it absolutely phenomenal. What I want to communicate right out of the gate in the takt production system is if you use the Little's Law formula as applied to takt construction, or Louis and Binniger's law, it states that the number of takt wagons plus takt zones minus 1 multiplied by the takt time equals the duration. This is the formula. So if you know what your milestone is, you can figure out your takt time. And this all adjusts if you adjust the number of wagons or zones or takt time. It's pretty genius. So just giving a quick example here, if you had 2 zones and these were your activities, and I know I've shown you this before, okay, right? Let me go ahead and finish that out, okay? So zone number 1, zone number 2. Let's say you went to 4 zones and it was like 1, 2, 3, 4. That basically breaks that duration in half. So this would be like that, like that, like that, and like that. And then if you take the other activities, it would be dot, 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 dot. You can see that the original duration over here is much different. Like there's a big delta between the two there. So the takt time as an indicator of speed is crucial, because if your takt wagons are fixed and you increase the number of zones, which means that they get smaller, your takt time also decreases, and you have 2 different plans. Plan number 1, same area, same work, same trade, same people. You can switch that to an option that's faster, same area, same trades, same people, same everything, but you finish sooner. So takt time is an indicator of the speed on your project. What work packages fit inside a takt wagon? So a takt wagon has your takt time, which is basically the time that you have, and it has your zone size, which is how much work that you need to accomplish. This is called a wagon. And inside, you'll have different work packages. That means portions of work done by trade partners that can work together or by themselves, however you package it, but within that takt time in that zone. And the reason that that's important is because it gives a target. So as you're moving through the building and you have these different zones, the trade partner knows, hey, I go into zone 1, my takt time is the parameters along with the zone size that I have to accomplish this work. And I can measure how well I'm flowing. I go into the next zone, this is my takt time, and that's the size of my zone. This is my takt time, the size of my zone. It gives you an indicator to know if you're flowing and going the right speed, and to really QC and finish the work as you go, so you have parameters where you can see problems real time. Takt time also allows you to synchronize the speed of the different trades, because flow really comes from trades going the same speed, the same distance apart. So if you have a trade partner that's going a certain speed, right, and other trades that are going at different speeds, you can see that that extends your overall project, right? But if you could package these to where you're on a consistent takt time generally, right, however you want it to work, right, you can get a more optimal production flow and a shorter duration because you're on a similar takt time. And the last thing that I want to say is that the takt time also says, hey, this is the trigger on the project site when we need to move to the next segment, manage handoffs, and stage materials to prepare for the next portion of work. So my message is, takt time is amazing. It lets us work the calculator. It makes us control the speed. It allows us to speed up the project without hurting trade partners. It allows us to understand the rhythm that we have to meet the end date. It synchronizes the speed of everyone going the same speed, the same distance apart. It allows us to feed the system with the right resources. It also allows us to make sure that we know how to manage the speed and see it real time so we can fix problems. It's the basis of everything we do. So when you hear takt time or takt planning, know that it is a production system that allows us to properly and effectively control the speed of production without hurting trade partners, and it opens up a whole new world of production management tools. So I'm going to give you some Canva graphics talking about this. I hope takt time becomes something that's very near and dear to your heart, and that we can start to loop it into every conversation we have about lean in construction in our industry. So I'll link you to that in the description below, and we're going to link you to our book, Takt Planning. You're absolutely going to love it. You flip in here, you'll have everything that you need to know about takt time, takt planning, and you'll be able to understand the whole system. I hope you love this video. On we go.